Hey everyone, welcome to their top 10 list, and welcome to my top 10 favorite Dustin Hoffman movies. Yes, Dustin Hoffman. What an amazing actor. Why haven't I done a top 10 list of my favorite Dustin Hoffman movies? Like, this is a crime that I haven't done this top 10 list, but hey, better late than never. Yes, Dustin Hoffman. This guy has an unbelievable filmography, like unbelievable. Like, he has played in some fantastic films, and he's given such amazing, compelling performances in a lot of these movies. And sadly, I don't think Dustin Hoffman has been lately giving amazing performances. He's played in a few good movies, but he's never played in movies like he did like the 70s and the 80s and stuff. That's when Dustin Hoffman was at his fucking prime. But anyways, I digress. Let's get to it. Here's my top 10 personal favorite Dustin Hoffman movies. And as always, before top 10 lists, you gotta have your honorable mentions. Alright, in my honorable mentions are The Meyerowitz Stories, Chef, Barney's Version, Finding Neverland, Stranger Than Fiction, Runaway Jury, and Hook. Here's the hook. Yes, all great films, just couldn't make the top 10 list. But damn it, my top 10 was my number 10. My number 10 is Wag the Dog. Yes, Barry Levinson's Wag the Dog, a great political satire comedic film. If you love politics, you'll love this film. You'll love how brutally realistic this movie is. This movie shows you a lot about corruption, propaganda, and all that kind of shit. This has great performances by not only Dustin Hoffman, who steals this film. He probably should have won the Oscar. He's so fucking good in this movie, but De Niro, Dennis Leary, and even Kirsten Dunst, all great in this film. I love that this is during the Clinton era, and basically it's these political figures that are trying to make these like fake movies and stuff to stop a war, but end up almost creating a war itself and everything. It is a great movie. It is very relevant, has amazing social commentary, and Dustin Hoffman is amazing. He steals this whole film. He is so freaking good. He was nominated for the Oscar. It was a big year for the Oscar, so obviously he didn't win, but he is sensational in this film. And this film is just, it's insultingly underrated, this film. If you haven't seen Wag the Dog yet, please check it out. It is absolutely unbelievable, and it's funny, it's deep, it's so well directed, and it's very relevant even to this day, and yeah, fantastic film. Coming in number 9 is the Kung Fu Panda Trilogy. Yes, Dustin Hoffman plays easily probably my favorite character in the Kung Fu Panda Trilogy, and that is Master Shifu. Yes, have a dumpling. Yes. He's a muskrat, and he's the leader. He's the master who trains the Furious Five. Who trains Po to be the Dragon Warrior, and yeah, I love Shifu. He is such a great character. He's adorable as shit, but he's also badass, and he's so knowledgeable and so wise. And Dustin Hoffman was the perfect casting choice. Like, he brings so much depth to this character, and so much kindness, and a lot of good comedic timing with the character. Like, I can't picture anyone doing the voice acting other than Dustin Hoffman for Master Shifu. Master Shifu, again, he's just my favorite character. He's just such a cool character. He's such a badass character. It's Dustin Hoffman that adds the layers to the character. And yeah, I love this whole franchise. This is a fantastic trilogy. And Dustin Hoffman just adds to the greatness that is Kung Fu Panda. Coming in number 8 is Tootsie. Yes, Tootsie came out in, I think, the greatest year of all cinema, 1982. Yes, Tootsie, what a good movie. This is so good. This is when movies about guys dressing up as girls were actually good. Yes, this is way before the time of Big Mama's House and White Chicks. Fuck those movies. Anyways, he was nominated for an Oscar, I think he was, and I think Jessica Lange won Supporting Actress, if I'm not mistaken. Trust me, people in the comment section below will fucking correct me, but he's great in this movie as Tootsie. Him dressing up as a woman to get this female role in this TV series because he basically can't get roles anymore and shit like that. It's funny. It's also very dramatic, and it's also a good romantic story, but it is really funny. Dustin Hoffman is so good. Bill Murray as his roommate is also enjoyable. Jessica Lange is very good in this film. Again, it's just a really well-told story. It's got a very touching ending, and just, yeah, it's just a great film. It's such a classic. Coming in number 7 is All the President's Men. All the President's Men is a riveting watch. This is so fucking good. Easily one of the best written screenplays in cinema. This is a damn great film. If you love movies about journalism and you love dialogue-filled films, then this is definitely for you. Like, if you love The Post, this is better than The Post. And The Post is a very good film. The Spielberg movie, The Post, is a very good movie. This is what The Post was trying to be. And it almost succeeded. The Post is still a great film, but it's nowhere near on the same level as All the President's Men. This is a phenomenal film. Dustin Hoffman is amazing. Robert Redford is amazing. The entire cast is amazing. The climax is so fucking intense. It's brilliantly shot, wonderfully directed, and again, this is one of the best screenplays in cinema, and yeah, it is amazing. If you haven't seen this movie, check it out. If you don't like movies with a lot of talking, you find them boring, then definitely don't see this one. This is definitely not for you, but if that is your kind of thing, that's your kind of stuff, that's one of your favorite types of films, then definitely check this one out. You will love it. Coming in number 6 is a Dustin Hoffman movie that most people do not talk about, especially when I see lists of people's favorite Dustin Hoffman movies. This one doesn't make a lot of people's lists, and it should. It's one of the best, and that's Marathon Man. Marathon Man is freaking fantastic. This is so good. This is Dustin Hoffman. It has Roy Schneider from Jazz, Brody himself, and it has Laurence Olivier in a very unsettling performance, and wow, this is a great film. This is, I love the story of this student played by Dustin Hoffman, and he's this marathon runner and stuff. He runs a marathon all the time. He wants to be one of the great runners and everything. But then his brother comes to visit him, and he thinks his brother is like this businessman and stuff. He doesn't realize his brother is working for a secret agency to take down basically this Nazi and everything, and yeah, his brother ends up getting killed, and then he gets involved in it because the Nazi thinks Dustin Hoffman knows certain information, which he does not know, so they brutally torture him and stuff, and it's up to Dustin Hoffman to take down all these evil, sadistic motherfuckers, and he is so good in this movie. Dustin Hoffman is amazing in this film. The scenes in this movie are so freaking classic, and just the torture scene with Laurence Olivier and Dustin Hoffman is a classic scene when they put the thing on his face and rip his teeth out, and oh my god, it's just a brutal scene. It's a classic torture scene, and Laurence Olivier is a fantastic villain in this movie. And yeah, the ending climax with him in the sewers with Dustin Hoffman, great scene. And Roy Schneider was also really good. I wish he was more in it, but he was really good. Probably my favorite character in the film. He's just such a cool character and such a likable character. I love Roy Schneider in this film. But yeah, Dustin Hoffman easily gives the best performance, and this movie itself is so good. I find it a bit underrated because I don't think a lot of people talk about this movie, and they should, because it is amazing. Coming in number 5 is Midnight Cowboy. Yes, only the shadows of my mind. Oh, so good. This came out in 1969, so you all know what that means. This is the same year as True Grit, and this is why Dustin Hoffman didn't win the Oscar for Midnight Cowboy. Him and Jon Voight are both incredible in this film. I think they both were nominated, if I'm not mistaken. I know Dustin Hoffman was. I think Jon Voight was as well. They are both so good in this film. John Wayne won for True Grit, which I do understand because he is so good in True Grit, and that is the role he is known for. However, I would probably give him maybe his Oscar win for The Searchers, and then give Dustin Hoffman the win for Midnight Cowboy. But anyways, Dustin Hoffman has 2 Oscar wins anyways, but this is a great film. I think it is brutal, it's dark, it is raw, it is gritty, it is not a pleasant watch because it's about male prostitution, so it's not a Western. Like when you think of a movie called Midnight Cowboy, you think it's about a Western and stuff. No, it's about male prostitution stuff and them trying to struggle with money and everything. Basically them trying to make it in this role, both Jon Voight and Dustin Hoffman, who become these good friends and stuff, basically a manager and prostitute relationship, but they become good friends and stuff, which leads to a very dark and very emotionally heart-aching climax. My god, that ending it rips your heart out. It is just sad and bleak and just, oh my god. This is a fantastic film. This is a damn near masterpiece and has one of the great movie songs. I love that song, the original song for this film. Really good. Performances are so compelling. It is such a well-directed film. This is a film that was way ahead of its time. This is a film that comes out nowadays, not in 1969. It is such a good movie, and definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. Coming in number 4 is, speaking of films that are dark, raw, and gritty, and way ahead of its time, Straw Dogs. Straw Dogs. This film was actually banned in certain countries because of how dark and unpleasant this film was, and I understand. They did a remake of it in 2011 or something with James Marsden and Kate Bosworth, and it's not that good of a film. Not really. The original though, this is a fucked up movie. Really, absolutely twisted and fucked up, and yeah, it's basically about this husband and wife. They're going into this like small town where his wife grew up and stuff, so he can write and everything. And you meet some of her old friends and her ex-boyfriend, and they're like these like hillbillies and stuff, and they're borderline sociopathic and stuff, and basically something happens with a certain character and someone ends up dead, and then Dustin Hoffman wants to protect this person, and then the third act ends up being a home invasion film, and it's one of the darkest home invasion scenes you will ever watch in a film. It is dark, violent, kind of badass, because Dustin Hoffman in this movie is like such a dorky character, and then he just like comes out of nowhere and like fucking up all these hillbillies and stuff, and you're like, yeah, kill these motherfuckers, Dustin Hoffman, you're awesome, man. Yeah, this is a really intense film with a really dark ending. How they did in this film was so good. I don't like the changes they did in the remake, and I don't think that's a really great film. This is a dark, raw, bleak film, and again, it was banned from theaters for a reason. It is twisted, and even still to this day, it's a hard movie to watch, but it's a great one. Coming number 3 is, of course, Rain Man. Rain Man, of course. Like, what else would it be? This is what won Dustin Hoffman his second Academy Award. He is amazing in this film. Absolutely incredible. He gives such a groundbreaking performance. This is a career-defining performance. He is so good. Tom Cruise is very good in this film too, as his younger brother in the movie, and like Dustin Hoffman, the way he plays this man with autism, but he's also like a genius, is just so good. It's so compelling. It's funny. Like, there's a lot of really funny scenes in this film, and Dustin Hoffman is just amazing. This is almost like a perfect performance. He is just so good. I have no flaws with Rain Man. It's an amazing film, and it's mostly because of Tom Cruise and, of course, Dustin Hoffman. Coming in number 2 is a film that I so badly wanted to put at my number 1, but my number 1, I don't know. They're very close. It might change in a week or so. I might switch my number 1 and my number 2. But anyways, it's The Graduate. Yeah, number 2 is The Graduate. Amazing film. This is, again, it's a career-defining performance. It's a groundbreaking performance. It's a groundbreaking film. This is a film that all teenagers loved watching in the 70s, and I still even think to this day people love watching this film. Some people say it's for hipsters. I disagree. It's for everyone. It's for people who love cinema and shit. And Mike Nichols directed this film. Fantastic job. The soundtrack by Simon and Garfunkel, one of the great soundtracks, one of the great soundtracks in all cinema. Like, it's so good. Sound of Silence, it's amazing. Mrs. Robertson, so good. Anne Bancroft is amazing in this film. Dustin Hoffman is amazing in this film. He wasn't going to win the Oscar because it's the same year In the Heat of the Night came out. 1967 was a solid year for cinema. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, In the Heat of the Night, Bonnie and Clyde, and The Graduate. So big year for films. Also, Cool Hand Luke, I think, came out as well. But anyways, great film. Great soundtrack, a great story. It's very funny. It's very dramatic. It's got a great ending. That ending, one of my favorite endings to all of movies, because, again, I don't want to spoil it just because you haven't seen it, because I know a lot of people haven't seen this movie because it's an old movie. It's 1967, but that ending is so good. Like, the movie could have easily ended like a traditional romantic comedy way, but they ended in a very mature way, in a very subtle way, and I absolutely love it. This film itself is just a groundbreaking film. The way it's directed and shot and just acted is absolutely mesmerizing. It's easily just Dustin Hoffman's best movie. It's so good. And my number 1 favorite Dustin Hoffman movie is Kramer vs. Kramer. Kramer vs. Kramer is my personal favorite. Like, this might not be like a lot of people's favorites. My name makes some people's top 10. I love this movie. This movie just hits me. It hits me with every core in me. It's so good. It's so deep. It's so moving. It's so emotional. It's so real. It's a very realistic film, and Dustin Hoffman won his first Academy Award for this film, and I 100% agree with it. And Meryl Streep also won her Oscar for Supporting Actress. Again, I 100% agree with it. Even Justin Henry is so good in this film, and it's a simple story about a man who's a workaholic, and his wife just abandons him and his kid, and basically he has to work a full-time job and also raise a kid full-time, and he doesn't know how to do that and stuff. And it's a very realistic film about parenthood and fatherhood and a relationship between a father and a son, and it's a beautiful story. It's very funny at times, but it's also very real and heart-aching, and it's emotional, and it's just so endearing, and it's so human. Such a humanistic story, and I absolutely adore this film. Everything about this movie is brilliant to me. And of course, like when Meryl Streep comes back and they have to do the custody hearing, that's even done very realistically. How custody battles are very brutal things, and they don't shy away from it. They don't like PG this movie up when it gets to that kind of scenes. Like, they go heavy with this film. They go very realistic with this film. These two parents fighting each other over the custody of their son. It's hard to watch, because again, you both love your son, but you both want like full custody of your son, and it's done so well. The writing and direction is done beautifully. Dustin Hoffman is amazing, Oscar well deserved. Meryl Streep, very well deserved Oscar as well. She is so good in this film. This film itself is absolutely amazing. And again, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It is easily, I think, the best performance Dustin Hoffman has given in a film, and it's easily my favorite movie he's in. So yeah, that's my top 10 favorite Dustin Hoffman movies. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with this top 10? If not, give me your top 10 favorite Dustin Hoffman movies in your guys' opinion. Comment below, let me know. And as always, for this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.